All right. And I'm hoping this works. We've been having a little bit of YouTube live issues, but I'm hoping that we have kind of gotten past this. This is Gene with Buck What You Heard. You follow me, I'll follow you back. And I am joined by my special guest, Adam Horn. How you doing tonight, Adam? So finally, I think we've got this. We've got this fixed, I believe. Let me transition this other screen over. Okay. And I think we're on to bigger and better things. Let me shoot you the link over here. Guys, what's going on? Sorry about the mix up here. We've finally got everything fixed. Adam has been gracious enough to kind of hang in there with me on this until we get through this. Going live is going live. You never know what's going to happen. So
never know.
I want to shout out Matthew Kitchell, and it looks like I've got some people in the chat already. And again, you guys are awesome. You guys always manage to get in there and have something good to say. So again, thank you everybody for being in there with me. So Adam, how you been, man? What's going on?
I've been busy, very busy, as some of you guys may know, and some of you guys may not know. I ventured into the podcast game about 6 weeks ago with the BuccinIdiots podcast. And it's been an incredible experience. As you know, when you create something, man, it's exciting. It's a whole lot of fun, and I look forward to what the future brings in the podcasting world. There's so many great Bucs podcasts out there.
There are,
and we're lucky. We are really lucky for a team that hasn't been worth a damn. We sure do have some good fans, man. Some who would dedicate their time to the team they love, and I'm just one of those fans.
You know what? You hear the word diehard. I think if you've been a Bucs fan over the past decade, you are diehard, and that's pretty much what it comes down to. Man, I've really enjoyed your podcast. I like the direction you're going. It's something totally different than what everybody's putting out there, and I appreciate that. I'm not even gonna lie. I enjoy listening to you. It's totally. Like I said, it's different, and that's what I appreciate. I thought that you did a great job with Mr. Bucs Nation. Shout out to Mr. Bucs Nation out there if he's listening.
What's up, James?
He does great work. Hopefully I'll get him on this weekend, and we could talk a little Bucs football. But tonight I have you on here, and you know what? The off season has been brutal this year, and I don't know about you. Do you feel like it's the same, or has it gotten worse? This off season as opposed to past off seasons, or am I missing something here?
I think fans are gripping really hard right now. It's starting to boil over a little bit for some people. They just can't contain either their anger from the past 11 seasons, or they're just tired of losing, tired of hanging on. I don't know what it is, but I kind of feel the same way. There's a lot of angry fans out there. A lot are taking that wait and see approach, but I don't know. I felt that way right after the season, Gene. I did. I was pissed off. I didn't want anything to do with the team. I had to take a step away. But the Bruce Arians hire made so much sense to me, and everything that's happened since, other than the draft, which was a little bit of a curveball, but in retrospect, I see what they were doing. It's been a mostly good news offseason.
Yeah. And I know for me, and I know you see my tweet, I was pretty indifferent about a lot of the moves that were made as far as personnel goes, only because I'm not interested in arguing with anybody. Because we don't know what's going to happen this year. We don't know if Gerald McCoy is going to have a good year and Sue have a bad year, or vice versa. We don't know what's going to happen. You kind of have to just kind of roll with it and see what happens and make this something that you talk about at the end of the season. So for me right now, I thought they would go more D-line in the draft, and I thought they would address some other positions that I felt were kind of important. But at the end of the day, new coaching staff, new regime. I'm going to sit back and wait and see what they do, man. I'm pleasantly, I would say optimistically excited about this team. I really hope that it's better than what we've seen in the past. And I really believe it will be, because despite what the injuries and the things that have happened over the past couple of years, I feel like this team may have underachieved in some aspects where there are games they should have won that they didn't win. So I think when you have a different coaching staff, I think it's going to change some things. I really do. We talked about this off camera, the history of how coaches were brought into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I think this, like you said, this move made sense. And I think that this team, there are some good teachers on this team. I think that this team will be better than the product that was on the field last year.
Gene, we're just days away from seeing real football.
Exactly.
I know training camp is just practice and
no, it's football. No, it's football. No, it's football. Period.
Football. It's football to me. It's football to me. So the speculation and the all the talk can start to subside a little bit. We're gonna get to see a preseason game soon. We're gonna get all the live camp reports from all the people who are gonna be out there. You got your Bucs beat reporters and your fan base who are going to be live streaming it and live tweeting it on a consistent basis. I can't wait for that.
Yeah,
it's so exciting.
Yeah, what's really great, and I kind of go back to the podcasters. I don't watch ESPN a lot. I may watch ESPN if there's a basketball game I need to watch, or there's some event, a sporting event that's on. I've kind of gotten away from NFL Network, and I tend to lean more towards podcasters. I mean, if I want to know about the Buccaneers, that's kind of the direction I'm going. And to be very honest, I believe the Buccaneers organization is recognizing that. And I know for a while, podcasters were referred to as fringe media. But I believe now when you have podcasters that can give people that listen a voice, where they can talk about their team and they're not brushed off or not talked down to, or, they may have a difference of opinion. I believe podcasting is where it's at. There's something for everybody, and that's what I really love. You're talking about all the different Bucs podcasts. There are so many out there. Pewtercast, Locked on Bucs, your podcast. There are just so many out there to choose from. You don't have to be locked into one specific genre, and you don't have to listen to the radio anymore if you don't want to. If that's your thing, cool. Hey, I want to get my Bucs information from the radio. But the Buccaneers organization is looking at podcasters as, hey, these people can come and check out, get press credentials, come out and check out the games and report this to fans. And we're seeing little opportunities where different entities are getting the opportunity to do that. And I think that this is just going to grow. Podcasting is here, and it's not going anywhere for a long, long time. And I think entities like TV and radio, they are strong, but you just have more people that are looking at podcasts.
Why would you go to the national media for news about your team?
I wouldn't.
Why would you do that? It makes no sense. Those guys don't cover our team,
and they don't really care.
All they do is follow beat reporters like Greg Allman, and then they might anyways. They may do a little bit of research when they talk about our teams, but they don't know this team. They don't. They may do 5 minutes of research and then get in front of the camera and talk about, Jameis Winston or whatever they want to talk about. Bring up old shit. That's just what they do. If you really want to hear the inside scoop or with a fan's perspective, there's a million ways to do it. And national media and ESPN, that's dead. That's a dead form to me. I don't watch TV. I don't know. My kids don't watch TV. They stream.
Yeah. It's
either Netflix or whatever. All the content that they consume is on demand. All of it. Yeah. And we're not going back to the way it used to be. This is how it's going to be. And I love it. The fans can have a voice. Everybody in the chat right now can start a podcast tomorrow and their voice can be heard. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think that's important. And, I've heard people complain, they have a 500 pod. No, these are people that want their voice heard. I remember the first time I was, 98.7. I was on 98.7, and I was talking, and the Bucs were doing, I remember when that was. The Bucs had a bad game the previous week, and somebody I can't remember if it was, well, it's a guy I can't really, not really going to mention his name, but he kind of hung up on me. And the next week the Bucs won, and he kind of brushed off my call. And I think you know who I'm talking about. But besides that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start my own podcast. And there were tools out there to do it. It was kind of kind of clunky, but it was still something that I could get out there and do. And it started working for me. I started getting more comfortable. And anybody that's wanting to do a podcast, they've had people come up to me, DM me, hey, what do I need to do? And I just let them know, I'm not going to hold that information from people. I would like to see more podcasts, more different opinions, different ideas, because I think that's kind of what we need out there.
There's a ton of great content, like you said, man. And those complaining about there being too many Bucs podcasts out there, man, they don't remember the old days when you had to pick up the newspaper to read about your team. To me, the more the better. I consume what I like. You gave me some props for my podcast. I realize my podcast is not for everybody, and that's okay. It's for me, and if people like it, so be it. I took a different approach. My podcast is entertainment.
Yeah.
With on top of that, I cover the team, but I do it with my own spin. It's a little weird. That's okay. Like I said, it's not for everybody, and I'm not trying to please everybody. I love this team. At the end of the day, I love this team. I love talking about this team. I love talking to Bucs fans who love this team.
Yeah.
And if you love the Bucs, I love you. That's it.
That's right.
That's it. You love talking about the Bucs. I love talking to you. I've heard who was it? I want to say it was Rendak say that, for most of his life as a Bucs fan, finding other people to talk about the Bucs with that actually know the team, that the first words out of their mouth aren't going to be, oh, the Bucs suck, or, oh, Jameis Winston, he stole crab legs at FSU. You don't have to hear that anymore. You can get into a forum on Twitter, on social media, even though I kind of stay away from Facebook because it's full of some of that.
Yeah, that's too, it goes too far for me sometimes. Right.
But we got passionate fans and who know this team. Those are the people I want to talk to. I wouldn't want to sit down next to Chris Berman and talk to him about the Bucs, because what the fuck does he know about the Bucs? I want to talk to you. I want to talk to Sammer. I want to talk to the guys who live and breathe and bleed Buccaneer pewter and red. That's what I love.
That's what it's all about. I mean, you look at the chat right now. You got, I'm just going to roll call everybody. I got Matthew Kitchell, guy that he religiously is on. He checks out a lot of the different podcasts. Kenneth Sarvis, All Hands Galley, really good people. He's starting up a podcast too. He's put out a few shows, and, I encourage him to keep on doing what he's doing. Andre Glenn, thank you. He's always in the chat. And these are people that are in the chat. Hey, this is how I feel about this team. And you know what? I encourage people, even if your opinion's different, come with some facts. I do not mind being told I'm wrong, because I'm not an insider, number one. And I don't have a problem in saying, Gene, are you serious? What's wrong with you? You're wrong about that. I don't mind that. But hey, look at this film, or watch this play here, or watch this series here. And I'm like, okay, I'll check it out, But when you just come on here, oh, we're going to suck, we're going to be horrible, and we're trash, but you have nothing to back that up. I get it. And I'm not going to get mad at people, because this team is not giving you any reason to be 100% confident over the last two seasons. And I'm being real here. So I'm not going to get mad at people because they're pessimistic about things. But at the same time, I enjoy people that are like, okay, we're shaking off this last season. Let's move on to this season and let's see what this team does. And that's kind of where my head is at with this.
I really pay attention to the beat reporters, because they have the real contacts on the inside.
Yeah, the real insiders.
The players, the real insiders. I pay attention to them. And then I pay attention to the fans. I don't follow troll media. I want no part of the troll media. I really don't. The national media and those fans who, or people who cover the Bucs or cover Tampa Bay sports, but all they want to do is stir the pot and pin people against each other. I have no time for that shit.
Yeah, that TMZ media.
Nah, no time for that, man. None at all. I love this team, man. That's all I care about. I don't care about their hate, their opinions. Half of them aren't even Bucs fans. They just cover the Bucs for a living, and I really don't care for to hear all that. They sit out there and they rustle up feathers trying to get clicks, and no time for that shit, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're legitimately, like, you guys brought up some great points, and I kind of want to touch on your podcast, the one that you just recently dropped, where you did have Mr. Bucs Nation on. You were kind of talking about the cornerback position, and I'm wondering how they're going to respond to this new defense. And I realize that this is a 3-4, and you have a lot more safeties than you do cornerbacks. And I just wonder, is that by design? See, I can't really speak on what this team is going to do because I have no idea what they're going to look like until we start seeing practice, till we start seeing them in pads and that kind of thing. So not really sure what this team's going to look like. So I can't be like stressed out and say, hey, you don't have enough players here and you need to do this. These guys have watched 10 million times more game film than I have. But at the same time, that is something that to kind of keep an eye on when you look at the number of cornerbacks that this team has on the roster at this time, only because you look at the injuries over the past few years that the Bucs have incurred, and it just makes you wonder, how is this going to all play out, or how are they going to use these cornerbacks? So kind of wanted to get your thoughts on that before we kind of move on to some other positions. That was the number one that's been on my head right now.
To me, it's exciting to see how Todd Bowles is going to use all these pieces. And like you said, the Bucs have 7 corners on the roster right now. One of those corners isn't available for the first 4 games. So you could realistically say we are dealing with 6 corners on the roster right now. And we're probably going to go into the season with 6 corners at least on our 53. So there's a good chance all of those guys right now make this team, or they're just not done adding pieces, which is probably realistic to say as well.
Yeah, the roster is going to be fluid. And that's something, if you've ever listened to me, you listen to Michael Pless, we always say the roster's fluid. And we've seen that year after year where you may think that they've made all the moves they're going to make, but you see them continuously making moves on into the season.
Yeah, and then, like you said, we have a ton of safeties. We have, I think it's 9 safeties on this roster, plus Deion Buchanan, who is a safety hybrid joker, and then you got a player like MJ Stewart, who's probably going to be also played the joker a little bit, maybe a corner, maybe safety. He can line up inside in the box and play a little linebacker. And that's the beauty of Todd Bowles' defense. It's not traditional whatsoever. It's you have a lot of odd thing. He's been known to put 4 safeties out on the field in games. He's going to go with the strength that he feels best suits, stopping the opponent. So if you got teams that are going to attack us in certain ways, he's just going to change his formula a little bit. He's not going to sit back with your standard 2 high, 2 corners, a nickel, and 4 down linemen and 3 linebackers. He's going to constantly change it up and try to confuse.
With what you were talking about earlier.
I think I was talking about safeties, and essentially, who knows what the recipe is for Bowles, whether he's going to have multiple corners, multiple safeties, how many safeties he's going to bring out there. We just don't know. And I think that's by design. He doesn't want the offenses to know what he's going to bring from week in and week out. And he's going to go with the best group he can. I think he's going to keep the best group, whether we may keep, 6 safeties and 5 corners. Who knows?
Yeah, and this is my thing here. Do you think the linebackers play a bigger role in this defense, or is it the cornerbacks? Is it the safeties? See, this is the one thing I can't sit here and say I know 100% what this defense is going to look like. I mean, he's done really good with disguising blitzes. I think when he had his best defense, I think his linebackers and his defensive line played a huge part in that defense with the Jets when they were at their best.
No doubt about it. I don't know how many inside linebackers we're going to keep. We're going to keep quite a few outside linebackers, but inside guys, you can kind of interchange your safeties and your inside linebackers, especially since we're going to be in nickel quite a bit. So I don't know how many they're going to keep at inside. Clearly, Levante's making the team.
Right.
Obviously Devin White's making the team. And are we going to have a backup for each position? Maybe keep 4 inside linebackers.
Yeah.
And the rest you can sprinkle in a day on who can play some inside linebacker. Maybe NJ Stewart plays a little inside linebacker. Who knows?
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. I know for me, with the injuries, the key injuries the Bucs have had over the past few seasons, that's the one thing that always makes me leery is depth. Depth on the team. Who do you have to step in? It's not so much who you have starting, but who do you have to step in when the time comes? And I think that's going to be huge for this team, especially when you get into that 6-7 game stretch, when those games really matter. Because to me, I think that's going to tell you the most about the season when the Bucs go into that 6 or 7 game stretch. How many games do they come away with? And I'm not even counting that supposed home game over in London. That doesn't even count for anything. It's still an away game. So to me, these are all away games. And how do these players respond to this long stretch of not playing at home? And can they get wins that a lot of people don't think they're going to get?
Yes, I think the answer to that question is yes, or at least that's the optimistic Bucs fan in me. I'm going to say yes. I think we're going to sneak up on some teams who aren't ready to fight, because we're going to be a fighting team. We're going to take on the personality of Bruce Arians and this coaching staff. It may not be pretty, but we're gonna be swinging fists, man.
Yeah.
You just have that feeling. You bring in a guy like Sue, who has that nasty reputation and plays nasty on the field. You switch out, McCoy. That's by design as well. I think that they want to go with a tougher group, and I think that's going to pay dividends on the field. Were we going to win? We haven't had a confident team or confident organization in years. We've had losing teams, and we've carried a losing mentality, and I think it's beat down a lot of really good players. I think it's McCoy specifically. I think had he gotten some success early on in his career, I think his story here would have been completely different. Had he played on some winning teams, I think his statistics would have been unbelievable. Had we built something around him and had a coaching staff, that had a plan in place and wasn't just a hodgepodge of coaches and
general managers.
We talked about that earlier. The history over the last 11 years, it hasn't been great.
It kind of rivals the 80s.
We're approaching that, honestly. We're approaching the same length of despair and losing that I grew up with in the 80s, that you grew up with in the 80s, and a lot of old school Bucs fans grew up with in the 80s. It's approaching that again, but it just feels different. And yeah, I know I probably said that about Dirk, and I probably said that about Lovey, and I probably said it about Schiano, but he's building something here. The coaching staff he's brought here, the coaches that he brought with him know his system, and they're all speaking the same language.
What's interesting to your point. This is a team that you don't hear the word experiment. You don't hear, well, I'm not sure. You haven't heard that from Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians has been pretty confident about everything that he's talked about since he's been in place. And he's trying to set the standard for accountability and, getting players to play at their best. And I think that's what's been missing from this team, in my opinion, is, having that direction. Okay, this is what we're going to go out and do. You're going to play in this position. This is what you're good at. This is what you're going to do. You can hunt the quarterback. You're going to hunt the quarterback. And that's kind of where we are with this team as I'm seeing it. However, if you don't come to play, if you're not coming to camp in shape or interested in learning the playbook, go sit your ass down somewhere. We're going to get somebody out here who can. And that's what we've needed for a long time, is that kind of accountability. And we kind of haven't had it. I think Some coaches have been kind of scared of players. Well, we don't want to make him too mad, so we just do what we do. But
listen, all the greatest teachers, they preach accountability. They come in with a firm hand, and it with discipline, and then they come back and use those failures and use that as a teaching point to, hopefully nurture and grow these young guys that they're trying to, make into superstar football players. It's no different in parenting. It's no different in teaching outside of sports.
Right.
If you're going to come in hard, you better have that soft side of you that can come back later and say,
level of balance.
This is why I was hard on you. This is why your ass sat on the bench. This is why you're going to lose your job. And you see that with Bruce. And you also hear something very similar that you heard players say in the Dungy era. They want to win for Bruce. They don't want to let Bruce down. You heard that a lot with Dungy's players. He had that father Dungy persona for a reason. These guys looked up to him like a father. They knew if they fucked up, they were going to pay for it. And Dungy, his message never wavered.
No,
he was always the same person from the day he got the job to the day he was fired. He never wavered, and he never wavered throughout his whole career. So I think you're going to get the same thing from Bruce Arians. He comes with a pedigree. Nobody can question that man's pedigree. Nobody can question what he's done and who he's coached and his successes. Nobody.
And this is the thing, to that point, he's progressed with the NFL. He's not using a 15 or 20-year-old scheme that worked back in the early 2000s that is totally obsolete and try to force people to still use it. He's progressed and evolved with the NFL. His coaches have progressed and evolved with the NFL. And I think that's going to be huge. A coach that can go out and make adjustments in the second half. A guy that may see something that is going wrong with the play, with the game plan, and be able to make those adjustments on the fly. Only the good coaches do that. But I've seen so many times where coaches stick with the game plan, regardless of whether it's working or not, till the end of the game.
I mean, just look at how he handles his coaches. He does the same exact thing with his coaches. He's building up a guy like Byron Leftwich. He came to Byron a long time ago and said, you have a future in coaching. He saw potential in him, and he's nurtured him and built him up. And look, he's handing the keys over to Byron, and he's going to be a watch like you would. He's going to be a watchful head coach. He's going to monitor the situation. He'll get involved when he has to get involved. He's going to let Byron go out there and do his thing. And Byron's got a younger perspective.
Right.
He's got a lot of young coaches on the a lot of old crusty vets who have been there and seen it before.
It's
and
a balance.
These are the guys he wanted, man. And we talked about that before when we were off the air. Dirk Cutter was thrust into this coaching position, and he didn't. I'm sure he didn't get the chance to build this all-star cast of coaches that he would probably have really wanted. Bruce is catching lightning in a bottle here, man. It all seems to be coming together, with the Arizona staff getting fired and Bowles getting fired in New York, and all of his guys all of a sudden becoming available. It just feels like something special is happening here, and maybe we don't see it right away. But we didn't see it right away. We didn't see it right away with Dungy either, Gene.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I remember that his first season, but towards the back end of the season, you kind of saw where things were starting to come together, and you saw where this team was starting to put something nice together. So yeah, you're absolutely right on that. I'm gonna, I'll let you go ahead and expound on it. I'm gonna hit up the chat. Again, I need to get these guys included in the podcast because
absolutely.
I think it's important. So I'm going to start up here and see if there are any questions out here. And let's see. I like this. There's a comment from Lane Johnston, who listens all the time. I don't care what the naysayers are talking about this year. Arians and Bowles are the truth, and we're going to ride this year. Go Bucs. I'm hyped. And you can't help but get around that. You get with that. I'm so excited. A lot of
What's
people.
Good, Lane? What's up, baby?
And a lot of people are asking about your podcast. Can you go ahead and drop that name in the different platforms you're on here? I know this is kind of in the middle, but go ahead.
Find me everywhere you can find podcasts. Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Google Play, everywhere. I was even dropping them on SoundCloud for a while. There's a few on there. And they're on YouTube. So you can just go right up in the search bar and click and search the BuccinIdiots podcast. BUCCAN and then idiots. Okay, we all know how to spell Buccaneers. We don't, you're in trouble. All right, and then you can find me on Twitter. You can find me at the BuccinIdiots or at Bucs Podcast, where I go by Stank Bastard. And some of you guys are probably like, oh my God, that's Stank Bastard? That's me.
That's Adam right. Horn. That's who he is.
I go by Stank Bastard on Twitter. And I've probably followed some of you guys, and some of you guys probably follow me. I gotta say what's up to a lot of you guys in here. What's up, Lightning Films? What's up, Brandon Man? I know my boy All Hands Galley. That's like family right there.
Yeah, he is. He's
Matthew
good
Kitchell, Andre Glenn, Stephen Bass. What's up, baby?
And you see, that's what I'm saying, man. When you get in the chat, and when a Bucs podcast comes on, the chat gets lit, man. I don't care where it's at. Hey, All Hands Galley was asking about intern Betty. What's that all about, man? Talk to me.
Listen, I hired intern Betty. She was a Walmart greeter, and I found her. She looked destitute, and we started talking, and I needed some assistance, somebody to run the soundboard here, and deal with booking all the guests. And so, I knew she was a senior citizen. She don't move as well as she used to. So I decided to give her a chance and bring her in, and she's a sassy old bag, man. Y'all should listen to her, though.
That's what's up, man. I like that. Yeah, hey, everybody gets a chance. Let's see. Funny how Bucs Nation has the least amount of national content, but we have the most dedicated fans. I've never heard anyone jumping ship. Personally, I'm trying to think. Have I heard of anybody that has? Goodness, I think it was like when Gruden left. I know of a couple of people, but other than that, I mean, throughout this here, no, I haven't really seen a whole lot of people that have jumped ship. I've seen people that go hide in the weeds and won't admit they're Bucs fans, but I've just not heard of people like, oh man, I'm totally done with this team.
Every year you see that though. Every year you see people like, I'm done with this team, Gene. I'm done with them.
Right? Yeah. Or we're gonna be trash this year. We're only gonna win 2 games and that kind of thing, Right. But I'm telling you, man, the fans are overdue for wins. Whether you're season ticket holders, regular season ticket holders, if you just watch it on, on what is it, All 22, whether you get it on DirecTV, NFL Sunday Ticket, everybody's investing in this team in some way, shape, or form. Whether you go to the bar and watch this team, just people are invested in this team, whether they want to admit it or not. And I think it's cool to see that here we are in the off season. It's still considered the off season because we haven't started, and we've got people listening and wanting to talk about Bucs. So I think that's pretty dope. But I want to switch gears because I saw something on social media, and I wanted your opinion. This concerns jerseys.
Okay.
So there was a reporter. I think she's for the Patriots. I think it was a retweet, and she made the comment, if you're over 30, you shouldn't be wearing a jersey or something crazy like that. And I'm going to give you my take on it because I think I responded to that and tweeted out that I think if you ride with your team, you should wear a jersey whenever you want to. I mean, that should never be a thing that somebody should ever try to criticize you or throw shade because you're wearing a jersey. And I'm going to go a step further. With the way free agency is nowadays, I would even go this far as to say, get your name on the back of it. If you're dropping that much bread for a jersey, fans are forever. Players will come and go, but fans are forever. And I think, realistically, if you want a jersey that you can dust off and wear every season, why not have it with your name on it? Because that player or that person isn't leaving his team.
Whoever said that boring bitch needs to just go away, okay? Wear whatever the hell you want. You want to wear a rhinestone thong to the game? Do it. We got fashion police all of a sudden out here now. Oh, a grown man shouldn't wear a jersey or have a name of another man on his back. I've seen that same shit too. Shut the fuck up. Wear whatever you want. Hey, Gene, I'm giving away jerseys. I don't know if you saw that. I've given away several jerseys, and I'm giving away more.
How's this going to work?
Well, the one I'm giving away now is a vintage black Keyshawn Johnson. Do I have it in here? I don't know. I think I have it in here. Old school throwback, all black Keyshawn Johnson jersey. You got to listen to episode 8 of the BuccinIdiots podcast to find out how to win it. But I've given away 12 jerseys now. I just gave away a brand spanking new, tags on it and everything, OJ Howard jersey a couple weeks back. I'm always giving away jerseys. I have a ton of jerseys. I don't wear them as much as I used to, but it's not because I'm ashamed to wear jerseys, Gene. It's because I'm fat and they're hot.
Bro, okay. I'm starting my diet next week, man. I'm finally gonna say I finally got to the point. Like I've cut out sugar. I finally cut out sugar. Yep. I've cut back on beer to where I drink it like on the weekends or something like that. And I've just been drinking a lot more water. I've been trying to eat good throughout the week. So it's something I'm trying to get myself ready for. Oh, I found the tweet. Megan O'Brien tweeted this out. I stand by my opinion. If you're over the age of 30 and wearing a jersey, it's weird. And
she's weird. Why is she worried about what everybody else is dressing?
Yeah, that's pretty much what that comes down to. But I don't know. That kind of, I was like, really? Why are you worried about what somebody else is doing? I think you're showing support of your team. So this was
sounds like she's a card-carrying member of the fun police, man.
Yeah.
I got no time for those people. Oh, you shouldn't go get an autograph. Don't have fun out there. Don't have too much fun.
Exactly.
You better not stand up and clap, bro.
Yeah.
Sit down.
So this was my thing. I said, if someone loves their team, there's nothing wrong with rocking jerseys. Most of the time, anti-jersey people are uptight and not very fun to be around in my experience. Lastly, get a jersey with your name on the back because fans are forever, unlike players that come and go. That was just my response.
Hold on. Andre Glenn just said, skinny jeans on men are weird. Yeah, I don't need to see the profile, bro. Your jeans need to be able to breathe.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody wants to see your profile, bro. Save that shit for the club. Don't wear it to the games.
Yeah, that's crazy. This is another interesting subject. So I'm glad I got your opinion on that. All Hands Galley had mentioned the Titans are only letting kids get autographs at training camp. And I know that the Minnesota Vikings are doing something very similar to this. Mm-hmm. I think it makes sense. I've heard stories of kids getting trampled trying to get for grown-ups trying to get adults or grown-ups trying to get autographs so they can sell them online or whatever they do with them. Yep. Because I would say 80% of the people don't keep them and do whatever with them. I'm not that concerned with autographs, and kids are out there to have fun, and you want this to be a great experience for kids, because they're going to grow up into being Bucs fans. So I kind of get this. I think it makes sense.
That one makes perfect sense to me. The kids should come first. If the players want to also sign some adult autographs, that's fine. I love sports memorabilia. I have autographs. I got a Derek Brooks signed NFL football, an All-Star one. Hey, you know what I have? I have a Monty Kiffin playbook, and I want to get it signed by him. But I'm not going to push a little kid out of the way to get it signed. The kids should get first dibs, and then if some adults want to go in later and get something that they want to hang on their wall or in their office or something like that, no problem. I have no problem with that. But there's a time and a place for everything. And I've literally seen people, trample kids, push over kids. You're 6'4" and you want to reach over a kid who's standing there with the football in his hand trying to get Jameis to sign it, and you got all these adults who are trying to push him out of the way. Yeah, I don't like.
Yeah, and I've heard stories at camp. It kind of reminds me of Gasparilla when I've seen grown-ups trample kids in recent times. It didn't used to be like this, but Gasparilla, kids used to be able to stand up at the fence and get beads. And now grown-ups are like smashing kids to get these beads and stuff. And it's like things have, I don't want to be that old man get off my lawn kind of thing, but people aren't as respectful in years past. I remember times where, a kid could go up and not have to worry about getting accosted trying to get an autograph. I remember my son got an autograph from John Lynch one year. He was 5.
Mm-hmm.
And to him, that was, that was big time. And I don't know. I think that, you're kind of onto something. I think it should be the kids. I mean, that because I don't know. I just kind of wonder about the intentions of a lot of adults. I've seen autograph stuff that somebody got for free and they're selling it for quadruple the amount. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that you got all these autograph people out there that try to make a living selling sports memorabilia, and you're gonna have some of that. But listen, go to a player event and get his autograph.
Yeah,
don't, not while kids are around. I got autographs when I was a kid, and those memories are lasting. So
yes,
it's important to allow other kids. Listen, we have a lost generation of Bucs kids who have literally no interest in Buccaneer football. They just want to sit there and play Fortnite. They don't care about this team because, as far as they're concerned, the Bucs suck. You're not going to see a whole lot of Bucs jerseys in schools and things like that. Because they just haven't been relevant. So we need to do more to gain the attention of these kids, not less. If they happen to go out to training camp, and get pushed over by a guy that that's not be able to get an autograph, you might have just lost a Bucs fan there.
Yeah, it just kind of ruins it for him. So I don't know. Just being able to get out there, having a football team in your city is huge. I know a lot of people take that for granted. But, just having a team, having Raymond James Stadium where you've got this big ass pirate ship that you can, you get to see every time you go to a game. I think that's a lot of fun. I mean, like I told you before, I've been to Arrowhead, I've been to Jerry World, I've been to a lot of other stadiums. And I can tell you right now, man, there's just nothing like Raymond James Stadium. I don't want to sound biased, but, when you see that pirate ship, when you see all the little restaurants around there, it just makes you appreciate all that stuff. So I don't know.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You say you're in Arizona, right?
Uh-huh.
What's the word on Bruce Arians leaving or and then coming back a year later? Are people give him like the Urban Meyer treatment there?
No.
Does he still love there?
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what, man. I've never seen anything like this for a head coach. He's loved here. I mean, just what he's done for the community around here, what he's meant to so many people, how many people he's helped outside of football. I mean, he's still a very well-loved person here. I haven't heard one negative thing about him leaving. And the fans here are pretty much just moved on and accepted the new coach Kingsbury, and they're looking at building with this new quarterback. So it was kind of a smooth transition, and I think people are okay with it. And I've had people see me in a Bucs jersey. What do you think Bruce is going to do with Tampa? That kind of thing. So it's like I said, it's really cool to be a head coach, and then you leave, and then you come back, and there's no bad blood. And, that's something that just shows you what type of person he really is. And that's another thing that I look at, even outside of football, what kind of impact he'll have on fans and just the community in general.
Yeah. Having somebody who gains, just brings respect with them. I've heard nothing but positivity coming from the Bucs fans that are around me. And winning will bring more. And they won in Arizona, and they haven't had a whole lot of winning, in that franchise's history. So yeah, I would assume they would look up to him, or still have love for the guy, and hopefully he can bring that same thing back here again, because it's been far too fucking long, man. Yeah,
it's been way too long. But again, I think that's definitely going to be the case. So what I want to do here, the last few minutes, I got this thing I try to do with the guests. It's called the hot seat. Okay. So what I do, I have 10 questions. 5 questions are Bucs related. The other 5 questions are NFL related. And some of the questions are going to be buying or selling, and some questions are going to be, okay, what is your opinion? So I'm getting my timer out here, because you get 1 minute, and I think Brent Allen actually made it through in less than a minute to get all the questions, but I did hit him with some softballs, so that he caught some breaks on that one. So here we go. I'm going to get the stopwatch out here, and let me get my questions up here. And what I'm going to do, how this is going to have the best time. So how this is going to work, the first few questions are going to be buying or selling. Okay. And then the next questions, I will have some questions under here that are going to be, I've got 2 questions that will be just your answer. So okay. I'm going to ask you the question, and then I'm going to start the clock. Okay. So you ready?
All right, man. You hold on. I'm sweating. I'm ready. Okay. Let's do this.
All right. Cleveland Browns will go to the playoffs. Buying or selling?
Selling.
All right. Bucs defense will improve over the last 2 seasons. Buy or sell?
Buy.
Lamar Jackson will have a breakout season this year. Buying or selling?
Buying.
All right. Jameis Winston will lead this team to over 6 wins. Buying or selling?
Buying, man. Come on.
Jacksonville Jaguars will go to the playoffs. Buying or selling?
Sell. Sell.
The Bucs running game will improve over last year. Buy or sell?
Buy.
Patrick Mahomes can lead the Chiefs to the Super Bowl. Buy or sell?
Buy.
Who is the greatest Buck in your opinion of all times?
Warren Sapp.
If the Bucs do not make the strides in 2019, the Bucs will start over again. Buy or sell?
Sell, no.
The San Francisco 49ers will go to the playoffs this season.
Sell.
Oh, man, you just got it, too. You just got it. So you actually got you're at 1 minute 3 seconds, but I think we were talking through that. So I filtered that out. I'm going to give you the win because you got these within 3 seconds, so you're good.
That's what's up.
So
I want to hear you answer those questions.
So, hey, put me on a timer. Well, here, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. But the thing is, I already know these questions, so.
That's okay.
All right.
Time doesn't matter. I just want to hear what your answers are, honestly.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to shoot these questions over to you, and I'll let you get your stopwatch going here, and we'll.
Hold on. All right, you gonna tweet it to me?
Yeah, I'm ready to send it to you here. So.
Okay. All right. I'm going to pull up my timer. You'll see what you're made of, man.
All right. Here we go.
Stopwatch. Here we go. Bam. I don't read as fast as you, so shit.
Hey, take it, whatever works, man.
Remember, I thought this program you sent me that we're streaming on was called Rendivis, and then you're like, no, bitch, it's Rendezvous.
Nobody brought that up. I tell you what, man, let's do this. If there's a question that you don't like, throw another question in there. Just throw a curveball in there, and let's do it that way.
Maybe
so
I
just
don't know.
So you've got these questions here, but if you come up with something else, throw it in there. I'm ready.
All right. Ready? Begin. Pineapple on pizza. Buy or sell?
Sell.
Cleveland Browns will go to the playoffs. Buy or sell?
Buy.
Bucs defense will improve over the last 2 seasons.
Buy.
Lamar Jackson will have a breakout season.
Buy.
Jameis Winston will lead this team to over 10 wins.
Buy. I'm a homer.
Hell yeah. Jacksonville Jaguars will move to London.
Buy.
The running backs will improve over last season.
Buy.
Patrick Mahomes will take the Chiefs to the Super Bowl, or can take the Chiefs to the Super Bowl in 2019.
Buy.
Who's the greatest Bucs player of all time?
Warren Sapp. You stole my answer.
There we go. If the Bucs don't make major strides in 2019, will they start over?
Definite buy.
Okay. And the San Francisco 49ers will be a playoff team this season.
Sell.
All right. 56 seconds. You're the champ. The champ is here.
Dude, if you come on, next time you come on, you gotta come up with some questions of your own. I'll do this all day long.
I will. Hey, I like this, man.
Yeah.
We should have a fucking trivia show. Nobody does that.
Yeah. There you go. Because
we can get the fans involved.
So am I an honorary idiot on the BuccinIdiots here?
Sir, are an honorary BuccinIdiot. There's a lot of BuccinIdiots in the chat. I know Brandon Man's a BuccinIdiot for sure.
Yeah, that's
Bucs
my guy.
727, BuccinIdiot. What about Matthew Kitchell? You listen to the BuccinIdiots podcast, Matthew?
Yeah, he listens to all of them. This guy is all about the Bucs, man. Trust me.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So again, like I said, we got some great fans here, man. I'm gonna be getting listeners on. I was supposed to get All Hands Galley on yesterday, but we kind of missed on the times. I was earlier and he was later, and we kind of missed each other. But I am gonna get him on.
That's my boy.
Funny story. Last year I was using some crazy. Earlier this year I was using a different software. I was having audio issues. This guy took the time to stop what he was doing and help me test this audio out, man. He's a class act, man. He's always looking out. You know, I really appreciate him. He's
called into the show several times, and I also plan on getting him in. I don't know. Hey, All Hands, you have a streaming setup? Can you? Obviously, if you've spoken to him, he can handle it. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's got the setup, man. Perfect. I think he's dropped a few podcasts too, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Douglas O'Connor, what's happening? James Wilder, best Buck ever. James Wilder, he's up there, but I'm sorry, Warren Sapp is my guy.
James Wilder isn't even the best Buck running back ever.
Yeah, just if you remember that era, and he was kind of like Gerald McCoy-ish a little bit. It's some part. I won't say all of it, but there were some years where he was it. I don't know if you remember that.
I went to high school with one of his sons.
Yeah.
No, listen. James Wilder was a great back. He played in a lost era of Buccaneers football. He played on a winning team. I know. I'm sorry, Doug. I'm just trying to rile you up, brother. I'm trying to do my best Tom Bassinger impression because I want you to click on me and hate me. You know, that's the approach a lot of these guys take. Yeah. They're gonna say some inflammatory shit just to get you to react. Say, hey, Gene, maybe me and you should do that, and just come out with all these outlandish opinions and say Mike Allstott isn't even he doesn't even deserve to be mentioned as one of the greatest Bucs of all time. Fuck you.
And you know what, man? That's what they do. That's how some people get paid. But I tell you what, man. You know,
trolls
until the Bucs start winning, this will pretty much stay the way it is, because winning covers a multitude of sins, and I think that's kind of where we are right now. It won't get any better until this team starts winning. It'll give people other things to talk about. I look at teams like the Steelers. I look at teams even like the Patriots. I've got followers that are Patriot fans, and basically, they look at their team differently than how the Bucs may view the team. So I don't know. It's just crazy.
What do the Patriots fans complain about? That's what I want to know. Like what is their what's Patriots Twitter look like?
And I don't think there's a lot to complain about. They pretty much troll Miami Dolphins fans and New York Jets fans, but if you know mass holes, they're a bunch of miserable motherfuckers half the time. Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
just always miserable for some reason. Boston fans and so I'm sure that somebody said they're complaining about their owner getting hand jobs. Why would you complain about that?
Yeah, he got out of it, and they made a law for him.
Oh, of course he was gonna get out of it. Yeah. That wasn't it. Hey, imagine that tape became public. What would happen?
A whole lot of people getting sick to their stomach, maybe.
That's going to be the first question on my next questionnaire. Hey, hold on. Chat room. If the tape was available, would you watch it? Go. I want to see how many of y'all would watch that old man get a rubbing tongue. Come on, be honest. Be honest. Nobody's gonna fess up.
I would no, bro. I'd be physically sick. And Brandon, man, tell Shar to shut up, and you'll get back to this here, because she's over here. His wife always takes shots at me every chance she gets for whatever reason. Damn. And it's just how it is. But I do take shots at her to protect myself, of course, because I'm the victim. I'm the victim here. And
you can't let them emasculate you, man.
Exactly.
Especially on your own podcast.
Exactly. There you go. I like. Hey, you're a friend of the podcast. You're welcome to come on here anytime. Just know that. But again, man, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you. I can't believe we've been on for an hour. Well, maybe 10 minutes of it, where things weren't working, but it looks like things are working now. So
yeah, man. Hey, all good. Yeah. Again, on Twitter at BuccinIdiots or at Bucs Podcast. That's the one I'm on for the most part. Just type in Stank Bastard on Twitter and follow me there. Also, I'm always posting my podcast all over the place, iTunes, Spotify, everywhere. You know where to find it. And here on YouTube. And I put them on the Facebook chat rooms, even though I don't like going in there because it's just so cringy.
Yeah, exactly. I feel your pain. You know what's interesting, guys? His podcast is up. If you get a chance to listen to it, if you listen to podcasts at work, please listen to his most recent one with Mr. Bucs Nation. I really love that podcast. I think you asked some questions and you brought up some really good points that not a lot of people are talking about. And that's something that really struck me. And that's why I say, I enjoy your work. I enjoy your content. And you're in my rotation. So
absolutely. Gene, you also need to get Sammer Ali on here. And, Sammer puts out some great content too. We were talking about Buck podcast earlier. I join him every once in a while, but Sammer's doing something special as well. He's great. You'll love him.
Okay, I will check him out too. And what is his
Loose Cannon?
Loose Cannon.
The Loose Cannons podcast. What's up, Shar?
Shar is hilarious. That is so funny.
And this is I always warn people. My podcast is weird as fuck. So if you're ready if you love the Bucs and you want to get weird, check out the BuccinIdiots podcast.
You know what, guys, and it's different than the rest of them, and that's what I appreciate about it. You have some that report, what's going on with the Bucs. You have other ones that are X's and O's. Your podcast is a little bit of everything, and I appreciate that. And like mine, I don't even know how the hell to describe mine, to be honest. I just get on here and start running my mouth, I guess.
I love it. Your podcast reminds me of just chilling, bro. Like with the boys.
Yeah.
Just talking about the team you love. Like I said, it doesn't happen often enough where you get to sit down with somebody who knows the team like you do, who knows them in and out, and talk intelligently about the team you love.
Yeah.
I could do this every day. I really could. I know you could too. It comes easy. I don't have to write anything down. I don't have to show prep. I don't have to do any of that because I'm constantly, just like all these fans in this chat right now. If you're in here, you're a BuccinIdiot. You're a degenerate Bucs fan if you're in this chat room right now. You too, Shar. You just jumped in here. You want to talk? You like talking smack?
Yeah, just towards me. So,
hey, what's your favorite piece of Bucs memorabilia that you own, Gene?
I had, and I know a lot of people, I'll catch some grief. I love Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is probably one of the most polarizing Buccaneers.
Don't apologize for that. Hell no.
So when the Tampa Bay Tribune came out with the Jameis Winston, love him or hate him, he's a Buck, I had that made onto a T-shirt. And my goal is to eventually get Jameis Winston to sign it, and I could go ahead and put it in a box and hang it up behind me. So that's right there. What I have. A lot of the stuff that I've given away, just because there are people that appreciate it, and there are a lot of people that haven't had the experiences that I have. Going to the Big Sombrero, going to Raymond James Stadium when it opened, going to some of these games, getting to see Barry Sanders, getting to see Walter Payton, getting to see Brett Favre, just, experiences like that. Yep. I'm going to always have those, and those are things that you can't take with you. So a lot of the stuff that I've had, there have been people that are new fans that don't have a lot, and I've, just donated it to them. So right now, that's the one piece of Bucs memorabilia. As soon as I get that sign, that's going up, because I really like Jameis Winston as a football player. And I think that, he's a guy that's got a very special talent. I just think that, I don't know. He's just been in the wrong situation, and we'll see. This season's going to tell if I'm wrong or how he's going to turn out right here. You
won't find any Jameis Winston slander right here, man. I don't think that he's had a really fair go of it. Yes, he's not perfect. He's 25 years old, people. 25 years old. There are quarterbacks being drafted that are just a couple years younger than him right now. He's got 5 years experience in this league. He hasn't had a running game, consistent running game, maybe since his first season here, where we had a little bit of success in the run game, and he hasn't had a defense that can stand up and support him. So he's always felt like it's been on his shoulders to carry the team. And so that's something that hopefully Bruce can break him out of. Yeah. And hopefully, I mean, realistically, if the defense isn't stopping anybody, he's probably going to feel the same way again. He's probably going to press, come out there eyes wide, because that everybody knows that look. Yeah. When Jameis is out there and he's hopping up and down and his eyes are wide, be careful, because that's when he makes mistakes. Right. The cool, calm, surgical Jameis, that's it. It's a tale of two quarterbacks. And you got the whisperer there. Hopefully he can whisper that sweet stuff in his ear, calm the kid down, build an offense that's tailored to his strengths. And the most important part here is this is a guy that's 100% behind this quarterback, 100%, hands down. There's no doubt about it that this is you're my guy. You're going to go in here for the season and help this team win some games. So imagine that, Gene. Imagine you bump into a girl, you and her hit it off, and you're about to get married. And the day you get married, she mentions to you, "Hey, I actually preferred your friend."
Yeah, that is a good analogy.
Did that exact thing to Jameis Winston. He didn't say it to his face. But in an interview, as most of you guys know, he came out and said he preferred Marcus Mariota over Jameis Winston.
There you go.
And from then on, to me, the seeds of doubt were planted. I don't think Dirk was ever really a Jameis guy, ever. He did the best. He always felt like Jameis was going to fuck it up. And I think he made Jameis feel that way, like, his ass was tight. He was always afraid to make mistakes, and he played that way. He played scared, and I think Dirk coached scared, and that was a problem.
And the whole Fitzmagic thing didn't help matters any with him playing as good as he did the first couple of games, and I'm sure Jameis pressed off of that. So again, new season, new coach. Let's see how he does. If he can go out there and just go out there and play his game. And just be comfortable, and hopefully, with the defense doing what they do, hopefully they cannot be a liability and get some stops and get him the ball back. Just 4 quarters of football where both sides are playing good, and I think that's what's going to really help this team to win. Because I don't know about you, if you've looked back through the decades, either the defense plays good or the offense plays good, but they've never. I can count maybe 4 or 5 games that they've played good on both sides of the ball, but it's just not a consistent thing. So to me, I think that's what's going to be important, is getting this team to play both sides of the ball, everybody playing in their position, everybody knowing what they're required to do. There were just so many times last year you see this team and the defense is playing in quicksand. They didn't know what to do. It was just a very slow team. So I think a lot of that was having to think.
Always on their heels, never on their toes.
Yep, always having to think before you do something. Yeah. Yep.
Recipe for disaster, man.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, man.
We made it through the technical difficulties.
We did.
The listeners made it through the technical difficulties.
Absolutely.
And again, bro, you are a friend of the show. Anytime we can get together, I definitely want to get you on.
I'm going to also extend the invite to you. I can't wait to have you on the BuccinIdiots podcast.
We'll act a fool, man.
For sure.
Yeah, man. I am more than happy to come on at any time. I do want to do another roll call because the chat was just so lit tonight. I mean, you can see it. I mean,
I can.
Yeah, everybody had something to say. And Douglas O'Connor, thank you for checking us out. All Hands Galley, Brandaman, Mrs. Brandaman, but Brandaman's the better half of that. Brandon Fuller, let's see, Travis Johnson, Bucs fan 727. What's going on? Matthew Ketchell. I know that Adam mentioned you earlier. Thank you again. Thank you guys. Hopefully I haven't missed Stephen Bass. Let's see. Who have I missed anybody? I don't think I missed anybody. Oh, Andre Glenn. Andre Glenn always showing up and showing out. I appreciate you. So, guys, thank you so much. I'll have Michael Pless on tomorrow. We'll definitely be getting geared up for camp. And me and Adam, I think we're gonna link. Are we linking up next week on your show?
Let's do it on my show. We'll have a couple practices in the books. We're gonna actually have some content, fresh, juicy content. I'm gonna be at camp. If any of y'all see me out there, say what's up.
Yeah,
don't be scared.
Don't be scared. This guy is real good. He's good people. Definitely somebody to. Don't be fooled. He's somebody to follow during camp. The draft, a lot of fun to keep up with. So Matthew Kitchell is asking YouTube, when do you drop this on you? When do you drop your show on YouTube?
The day I release it, I put it in Podbean and it drops it everywhere. So just subscribe and set your alert, and it'll come right up on your phone. You do the same on iTunes or whatever you prefer. I don't show my pretty face because I like to edit behind the podcast scenes. Right. So the YouTube channel has no video. It's just purely audio. You can find me anywhere, man. Check it out.
Yeah, we got this guy out of witness protection just for this show. Right. So I appreciate that. All right, my friend. Hey, thanks a lot. I really appreciate you. And everybody else, be sure to keep checking us out. If you're not right now subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. BuccinIdiots, go over there and subscribe. And if you're not following him, follow him on Twitter. A lot of fun. And I tell you what, this is going to be great. Try to figure out who I'm going to get on the hot seat next time.
So come get a free jersey, baby. I'm giving away a bunch of them.
Yeah, so get your questions ready for next week because I'm coming.
That's what's up.
All right. Hey, everybody have a good night.